Hello, my people. Good day to you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another profound episode of Daily Mind Shifts. My name is Michael Ojola from Mindset Transformation Africa, and today we are going to tackle a truth that, while often counterintuitive, it is absolutely essential for building true resilience and lasting strength. Let me anchor today's episode on this statement. Your strength increases and develops through recovery following adversity, not avoidance of struggle. You increases your strength, all right? Your strength increases and develops through recovery from adversity, through recovery following adversity, not avoidance of struggle. You remain weak when you are always avoiding struggle or anything that will test your limit. You remain weak. All right, that is the whole crux of this whole episode. In a world that often champions comfort, ease, and the path of least resistance, this idea might seem a little bit off the hook, a little bit jarring. All right, we're constantly bombarded with messages about how to avoid stress, how to minimize challenges, how to sidestep anything that feels difficult. And while self-care and managing our well-being are incredibly important, there is a critical distinction to be made between healthy avoidance of unnecessary stress and the detrimental avoidance of all struggle. I want you to think about it. Where does true strength come from? Does a muscle grow by never being challenged or exercised? Does a tree develop deep roots by never weathering a storm? Does a diamond form without immense pressure? Of course not. In nature and in human experience, growth and strength are almost always a response to challenge, to resistance, to adversity. Our natural inclination is to protect ourselves from pain, from difficulty, from failure. And that is a valid instinct. That is a valid instinct. No one actively seeks adversity. But when adversity inevitably arrives, and it always does in one form or another, you will face one or two things. Our response to it determines whether it becomes a source of weakness or a catalyst for profound strength. See, if we spend all our energy trying to avoid struggles, all right, if we spend all our energy trying to avoid struggle, we become brittle. We develop a low tolerance for discomfort. We miss out on the very experiences that would forge our resilience, that will deepen our character and reveal our true capabilities. We might even maintain a superficial sense of peace, but it is a fragile peace that is often easily shattered by the first significant challenge that we face. See, true strength is not the absence of struggle. It is the capacity to endure the struggle, to learn from it, and to recover from it. It is in the recovery that the magic happens. Just like a muscle fiber tears during a workout and then rebuilds itself stronger during rest, our mental, emotional, and even spiritual strength is forged in the process of facing adversity and then intentionally recovering. Consider the athlete who trains for a marathon. Their training involves pushing their body to its limits, experiencing pain, fatigue, and discomfort. This is the struggle. But equally important is the recovery, right? The rest, the nutrition, the strength, the stretching, the physical therapy. It is not just the running that makes them strong. It is the cycle of stress and recovery that builds their endurance and resilience. See, if they only ran and never recovered, they will break down. If they only recovered and never ran, they will never get stronger. This principle applies directly to our lives. When we face a setback, a job loss, a relationship challenge, a health crisis, a financial difficulty, a personal failure, that is the struggle. Our strength doesn't come from avoiding that struggle, which is often impossible anyway. It comes from how we engage with the struggle and, more importantly, how we recover from it. See, now the question is, what does recovery following adversity even look like? It is not simply bouncing back to where you were before. No, it is about integrating the lessons you have learned, adapting to the new reality in your life, and emerging with new insights, new coping mechanisms, and a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. I will give you some key elements of effective recovery that I believe will lead to increased strength. The first thing, as always, is acknowledgement. So number one, acknowledge and process the adversity. Don't bypass or suppress the pain or the thought or the difficulty. Allow yourself to feel the emotions that are associated with the struggle. This doesn't mean wallowing in self-pity, but rather giving yourself permission to grieve, permission to be angry, to be sad, or to be frustrated. Processing these emotions is a vital first step in moving through them. And number two, extract the lessons that you've learned. Once the initial emotion storm has subsided, engage in thoughtful reflection. What did this adversity teach me? What did it teach you about yourself, about other people, about the world around you? What could you have done differently? What new skills or perspectives did you gain? Every adversity contains valuable data for future growth. And number three, adapt and adjust. All right. Adversity often reveals flaws in our plans, in our assumptions, in our strategies, in our belief system, in our way of doing things. Recovery involves making necessary adjustments. This might mean changing your approach, developing new habits, seeking new resources, or even redefining your goals. Flexibility and adaptability are crucial here. And number four, rebuild and re-engage. See, after a period of struggle, all right, it is important to internally and intentionally rebuild your resources. Physical resources, mental resources, emotional resources, and social resources. This could involve prioritizing sleep, prioritizing nutrition, exercise, mindfulness, spending time with supportive people, or re-engaging with activities that bring you joy and purpose. This rebuilding phase is where the actual strengthening occurs. And number five, develop self-compassion. During times of struggle and recovery, it is easy to be overly critical of yourselves. All right, practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and support that you would offer a good friend that is facing a similar challenge. This self-kindness is not weakness. It is a powerful component of resilience. And finally, seek support. Okay, ask for help when needed. You don't have to go through adversity alone. It is not good for a man or a woman to be alone, says the whole beautiful Bible, the old beautiful scripture. So leaning on friends, family, mentors, or professional help is a sign of strength, not weakness. External support can provide perspective, encouragement, and practical assistance during recovery. Consider the person who experiences a significant professional failure, right? If they avoid the struggle by blaming other people, by denying responsibility, or simply giving up, they miss the opportunity for growth. But if they acknowledge the failure, they analyze what went wrong, and they learn from their mistakes, they adapt their strategy, and then courageously they try again, they emerge not only with a stronger skill set, but with a deeper understanding of resilience and a more robust character. This mind shift is about embracing the reality that struggle is an inevitable part of life, and that it is not something to be feared or avoided at all costs. Instead, it is a necessary ingredient for the development of true strength. And it is also about understanding that the periods of recovery, the intentional work we do after the fall, are where our muscles of resilience are built, where our wisdom is deepened, and where our capacity to handle future challenges is expanded. So, my mind shifters, I challenge you today to reevaluate your relationship with struggle. When you identify inevitably knocks on your door, instead of immediately seeking to avoid it, ask yourself, what opportunity for strength development lies within this challenge? And more importantly, How can I intentionally engage in the recovery process to emerge stronger, to emerge wiser, and to emerge more capable than before? Thank you.